Hello everyone, and welcome to my reaction to Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 249. It's been brought to my awareness that this is apparently a big chapter this week. Not remotely shocked, given what the end of the last chapter was. I have a few guesses as to what it might be. Rika may get washed immediately. We use Rika and her infinite re-summon ability as a punching bag for Sukuna to land a Black Flash or something, to show something off. Alternatively, we finally get to see what's inside Yuta's domain expansion, because if Sukuna's still not able to use his own domain, which is probably, maybe, hopefully the case, well, one, we get to finally see what Yuta can do, and two, it's gonna be interesting to see Sukuna trapped inside someone else's domain without his own. What does he do for countermeasures? Does he know Hollow Wicker Basket or any of the other countermeasures, or does he just face tank it? And lastly, a theory that a lot of people have had is that Maki is hiding inside of Rika. You know, she's a hidden weapon being kept inside of Rika, and is going to be used to get like a surprise attack on Sukuna. I could see either of these things happening, but there's only one way for us to find out. And before we get into that, as always, if you haven't already, definitely be sure to like and subscribe. I'd like to try and hit at least 100 likes on this week's reaction. Now then, without any further ado, let's get right into this week's chapter, shall we? I am very excited to see what we're going to get from this one. Oh boy, we're getting a little teeny flashback of sorts to Yuta decapitating Kenjaku. Very nice. Is TCB always going to have trouble loading in the images fully whenever I first start a recording? I feel like they're making a habit out of this. And now we're perfectly fine, I think. So let's see here. Rolling back the clock. Akotsu versus Kenjaku in the Lake Gosho colony. My will shall be passed on. Ooh. His body twitches. It's sort of like... what's the word? It convulses. It sort of lurches upward a bit. Yuta looks a bit shocked. Rika! Just as I thought. Kenjaku lost control of his cursed spirit manipulation, which means they're all about to rampage. Alright, Yuta, thank God that you are like one of the strongest anti-curse people ever with your reverse curse technique output. Let's see, we got a wave of them all bursting out here. Yuta starts slashing into them. Oh my god, they're just everywhere. It's like a tidal wave. Rika comes out and starts taking care of some of them to make sure they don't escape. What the fuck is this? One of the curses are carrying Kenjaku's head? Kogane, add a rule. Transfer the authority to begin the great merger between Tengen and humanity to Fushiguro Megumi. Roger that. Rule 15. Authority to begin the great merger between Tengen and humanity has been transferred to Fushiguro Megumi. One at least needs some insurance. I've already had Sukuna undergo the succession ritual. What remains is simply his becoming the parent of the ritual via the culling game. Tengen! Oh my god, he's actually growing a new Tengen. Jesus. And then it just flies off. And Kenjaku's head falls to the ground, but Yuta stabs it with his sword. I won't say I've had 1,000 years worth of fun, but I'm glad the one I got to play with at my end was him. Now it's up to you guys. I'm sure it'll be fun. So yeah, Yuta kills Kenjaku here. He's done. He's gone. He succeeded in the mission there. Kenjaku, smoked. But now we're here, where Sukuna is now completely, definitively the main villain. The main final villain. And, well, I guess it's up to him whether or not he starts the merger, but he said he's not going to do that until after he kills everyone. So, I guess now the fight with Sukuna is, you know, the fight to stop him from doing that. I don't imagine... well, maybe he will. Who knows what'll happen. But, you know, it seems like his intention's to, you know, oh, I'll fight you guys, and you'll be fun, but then I'll be done with you, and then I'll need something else to do, so then I'll make the merger happen. So here we are on the rooftop of this building here. Yuta and Rika flanking Sukuna. Yuta looking Are you sad? Actually, you look like you have I can't tell, is that like a vein bulging out of your temple here? But you're pretty serious. And Sukuna's hand that he cut off is mostly healed back now. The output of Sukuna's reverse curse technique has started to return. It might only be a matter of time before he can use his domain again. Okay, yeah. So the complete reincarnation wasn't instantaneous. It's taking time. And his brain healing again is probably going to take the longest. On top of that, Higuruma was killed. All because I wasn't here. Ah, guilt. Ah, responsibility. Should I have stayed here and offered my full support to the Executioner's sword plan after all? Maybe Maki should have dealt with the surprise attack on Kenjaku. No. Assuming the scope of the horde of cursed spirits released by his technique matches that of Shibuya's, the only way to have dealt with it and keep casualties as low as possible was with Rika's powers. So they leap off. Rika, like, sticks out her quote-unquote arm in front of Sukuna, creates like a shadowy smoke screen, and Yuta lunges forward to stab Sukuna. He moves his head out of the way and he grabs onto Yuta's sword. Let's see here. Is there a bit of a... By using precise slashes like a chainsaw, he can grab the blade without touching it. What? That's wild. He rips the sword out of Yuta's hand? Or does Yuta let him take it? As Rika goes in to grab Sukuna, Sukuna punches back Rika, but Yuta manages to land a punch on Sukuna's midsection. Yuta takes a few slashes from Dismantle. Wait, he actually managed to, like, knock the wind out of Sukuna a little bit. He punched him right in the midsection. So, right above, or right in, I would probably aim for above the lower mouth. You could probably bite your fucking hand off. But, you know, core cursed energy. Sukuna loses his grip on the sword. Or at the very least, Yuta gets his hands back on it, and he pulls it out of his hands, slashes at Sukuna, but Sukuna dodges underneath it. Rika grabs an AC unit and is going to throw it at Sukuna. Looks like from the corner of the panel there, Sukuna uses a dismantle to destroy the AC unit. And is also spinning around at the same time to defend himself against Yuta. Clashes against one of Yuta's slashes. I think mostly deflects one of Rika's punches and slashes her arm with a dismantle. Those are all just excuses. I wanted to kill Kenjaku myself. I brought about this whole situation. It's all my fault. Sukuna's eyes widen. That's why. He equips the ring. Domain expansion. Alright, time for name and visuals. Let's fucking hit it. After like a year and a half. It'll be like 2 years in April. God, time flies. All-encompassing, unequivocal love. Oh my. Another all-encompassing. I wonder what the official translation will be for this one. This name's okay. But we'll see maybe if John Wary somehow comes up with something better. Or if it'll just be really fucking corny. Now what we have around here. Nice visuals. I do believe all these destroyed structures here are part of the domain. And there's a ring around them. Sort of like these ribbons tied together. I imagine that's some sort of wedding ceremony thing. You know, like a Japanese thing. I'm not familiar with it. The imagery seems familiar, but I'm not familiar with the specifics. I imagine one of you in the comments is probably more knowledgeable than I. And we got all these swords everywhere, just stabbed into everything. I would bet my bottom dollar that that is meant to be a visual representation of all the techniques that Yuta's copied, and he just goes and picks them up and uses them. This is a really good spread, by the way. This looks really good. Hollow wicker basket. Well, there you go. He knows that. Yeah, question answered right away. great all-rounder that you are. So you're no longer affected by the sure hit effect, but let's see here. Yuta grabs one of the swords. He swings it at Sukuna. Sukuna raises his arm to block, but then a crack appears. Thin icebreaker. Yeah, sky manipulation. And then the sword immediately disappears. That's why I'll bring an end to it all, here and now in my domain. Let's see, Sukuna rises out of the smoke. I see. So this is their next move. According to Fushiguro Megami's memories, the Cursed Brat's technique is supposed to be copy. They plan on keeping half of my arms and mouths busy by forcing me to constantly maintain Hollow Wicker Basket. Otherwise, I'll be struck by the domain's sure hit effect. Most likely the Angel's technique. Oh. Yeah, Yuta probably did copy that. I totally forgot that he was probably going to copy that. Oh, Jesus. In the domain, copy seems liberated from all restrictions as well. But this plan actually hinges on the brat and his soul-seizing punches. So he wasn't hurting his soul, he was he wasn't pushing, he was pulling. He'll come trying to tear me from Fushiguro Megami's body. Well, aren't you happy now? You've finally been given a role. New and old, the two main forces go on the attack. At last, the two MCs fight against Sukuna. Oh boy. You know what, actually? Another really good payoff is probably going to be the fact that Maki can just enter and leave this domain whenever she wants. So don't be shocked if she, appears in here, gets a surprise attack on Sukuna, and then dips out. And he isn't able to escape and reach her. I actually like this balance here. I like this, that Sukuna is able to defend himself from the sure hit. However, by doing so, he has to limit his own capabilities. You know, the chanting, the hand signs, he can't just do that for everything now. That's really good. That's actually a very good plan. Yeah, that was a pretty good chapter. A very good chapter. And needless to say, I'm very excited to see what we're going to get out of the next one. But with that, that's all I've got for this week's reaction. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any of my uploads. I do Jujutsu Kaisen chapter reactions and reviews every week that we get a new chapter. If you enjoyed discussing Jujutsu Kaisen with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce in this channel, I highly suggest you check out my Discord server. I have a link to that down in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around. Take care.